In occasion of the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, Zayana, our gender-based violence counselor, and I, your online programming coordinator, decided to create a series of videos where you can learn more about human trafficking. In this video, we're going to look at 4 tips on how to protect yourself. Okay, we are back. So in this video, we're going to look at a few tips on how to protect ourselves. In our previous video, we looked at use and abuse, right, Zayana?
Yes.
Yeah. And so, Zayana, give us a few tips on how we can protect ourselves.
Okay, so a few tips. So I'm going to give 4 different tips on how we can just better protect ourselves online. Some of these may be things that you may not have thought of, or it could be already things that you already have in place. So if these are things that you already have in place, you're already one step closer to protecting yourself online. So first, it would be set strict privacy settings. So if your social media accounts are public, anyone is going to be able to see your photos, see your posts, as well as view your information on social media. So with having a private account, you're going to be able to at least be able to filter, do you want that person to follow you, accept the friend request if you want to or not? Whereas if your account is public, you're just going to see that you now have a new follower. And then also with things like Facebook, you can have it set to where only friends are able to see your actual profile. So even just searching you, only friends would be able to search you, or you can pick the friends of friends are able to search you. And then you have the option where anyone is able to search you. The best bet is to always have only friends picked for Facebook, so that only people on your friends could actually view your actual profile itself. Mm-hmm. Number 2 would be aware of strange friend requests. So only accept friend requests from people that are actually your friends or people that you actually know. So don't just be saying following someone just because you want to increase the follower count. At the end of the day, it's safety, and a lot of things people share online is very personal. And you have to think about, would you want to share certain information with public, or are these information you just want to share with friends? And then also with Facebook, if you don't know if you necessarily want to completely have a private account yet, Facebook does have the option when you're sharing posts where you can share it only with yourself. So if it's something where, so this is where Facebook kind of becomes more personal, because when you make a post on Facebook, you do have the top portion with the 3 dots where you can click on it and allow where it's only visible for yourself, so only I can view it. So that can be something, if you want to say vent about how unhappy you are and you want to use your social media as a diary, you could click that setting for that post, where that post in particular, only you're able to see that post, or it can be just friends that see the post, or you can pick who you want to actually see the post in itself. So that also gives you another added layer of safety and protection itself. Mm-hmm. And then we have, don't overshare on your public account. So this is again going back to number 2, where when you're making a post, it can be something where you're only sharing with yourself. So also, again, just remembering that everyone can see what you put online, your photos, your text, everything is very much public. And once it's out there, as much as you may think you could have deleted it, there could be people that have screenshotted. There could be someone that has saved your image already. So once you post it, you can never take it back, because you don't know what someone already has done with your post or with your information itself. And again, this is something that traffickers use in order to gain more information on individuals. From your profile, they can see what you look like, they can see personal details about you. And these are things that they can use to blackmail someone, be able to contact them, because you are able to put an email or a phone number on social media. So this could be a way that they're able to contact you, which could lead them to being able to groom you into being actually human trafficked. So just remembering that if you're going to be human trafficked by someone, you're never going to know within your interactions that what they're doing is grooming you to be human trafficked. You wouldn't know until you actually get to either the person that's human trafficking you or the person you are communicating with that arranged for you to go and meet someone.
Yeah.
Or you may never meet someone. There could be times where there could be incidents where you're human trafficked and you never meet someone. It's just taking place online completely, all the communication, because they've groomed you so well where they don't need to actually physically be in your presence, because whatever they have already told you has already settled in, where you've believed everything they told you, whether it was threats, whether it was coercion, you believed what they told you, and that will get you to continue doing what you need to, whether it be that you're trying to abstain from being a victim of violence because they could have threatened you with violence in itself. So that is also number 3. And then number 4 is just being aware of advertisements that seem too good to be true. So we are currently very much in an age coming from within COVID still, but kind of with the restrictions easing, especially in Canada. A lot of individuals are still working from home, and nowadays you do see a lot more employment opportunities to be able to work remotely from home, with a lot of those advertisements offering you startups of upwards of $1,500+. They're offering you all the equipment you're going to need to actually do the work in your house. And those are advertisements when we say if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. So going with your gut instinct, as well as if this is something where it's an email you're getting or a social media handle, always understanding that, like we said, use and abuse of technology, that would be a form of them abusing it. The way that you could use technology to your advantage in an instance like this for a false, if you think it's a false job advertisement, is plugging that job advertisement or email address into Google. And a lot of people will end up flagging certain email addresses or certain phone numbers or web addresses. So once you put it into Google, Google will allow you to know whether or not, okay, this person has already been reported. People have already shared on different community forums that this individual, this is a fraud email, this is only used for fraud, or that they have been already a victim of fraud or trafficking. So always knowing that as much as social media can be used as a form of trafficking, you can always also use social media to your benefit and use it to assist you in knowing if certain things that you're seeing are too good to be true, or if it's something that is worth reporting.
Yeah, I personally believe that social media platforms are very educational. It depends on the use, like, right? A use or
Yes.
abuse. And I always think that, not always, but usually they see Google as your best friend when it comes to researching information. Of course, there's so much information on Google. You don't know if it's reliable or not, but
Yes.
you can actually educate yourself.
Very true.
So, yeah. And which of these tips do you follow?
So in terms of the tips that I follow, I follow relatively all the tips. So I have very much private settings on most of my social media accounts. Beware of strange friend requests. I don't necessarily always add strange friend requests ever. Or if I do have a friend request, so if I had, say, a public account, if I got a friend request that I didn't recognize, I would just block the account or I restrict it. So with Instagram, you're able to block the account. And then once you block it, Instagram will ask you, do you want to block this account, or do you want to also block this account and any other account that this account may create?
Oh, yes.
So that's also a helping hand with it as well. And then don't overshare, as I stated before. Like, I keep it pretty neutral on social media, as I do know social media sometimes can be very toxic. With all my social media accounts, I try to make them rather uplifting. So I try to post very motivational stuff on my social media accounts. So I refrain from that. So if anything, if a trafficker say were to look at my profile, it would be like, oh, she's always happy and in a good mood. She's probably not going to respond back to one of my communications because she doesn't know me. And then beware of like strange advertisements. Anytime I see a strange advertisement, as I said, I block them, I restrict them. And then I also report it, whether it's to Facebook or Google, Facebook or to Instagram, because you have those options. Even with WhatsApp, you have the option to report if you believe a number is fraudulent or is communicating with you for illegal purposes as well.
Yeah, it kind of feels you have like you set a very clear boundary between your personal life and your life on social media.
Yeah, so I do very much try and make them very different, because even just I don't want anyone to go on my social media and feel like, oh yeah, I can already tell what this person, who this person is or what they're going through. So my social media is rather very neutral. It would be more or less if you're like, say, oh, motivational quotes, and you followed a page called motivational quotes, that's more or less what my social media accounts are.
Yeah,
they're like
good.
The motivational quote page.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And the question for our audience is, which tips do you follow? Or if you have other tips, make sure to share them in the comments. And Zayana, thank you so much for these 4 videos where you walked us through the campaign of the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
You as well. Bye.
Bye-bye.